I'm pleased to be joined by Jason Jackson, who is coming off a rather controversial split decision loss to Ed Ruth at Bellator 231. Jason, thank you for the time. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself? Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm doing well, and great to have you on the program for the first time. I was cage side watching your fight with Ed. For my money, it was fight of the night. You guys went back and forth. I was actually talking to my colleague Jarrett Kelly after the fight came to the end, getting ready for the judges to render their decision. Both of us thought that you won the fight. How confident did you feel before the judges gave the decision and you lost a split decision?
I was highly confident that it was going to be a unanimous decision. So when it was a split, I was kind of shocked, and then when they called Ed's name, it was like, no way. But you know what? Congratulations, bro. We went out there and we put on a great performance, nothing to be mad about. But definitely felt like it was unanimous on my side.
Going into the third round, what did your corner tell you? Did they feel like you just had to go in there, play this fight safe, and just get to the judges because they thought you were up 2-0, or did they feel like you needed to put a little bit more pressure on it and maybe get a finish?
Well, during the second round, I took my foot off the gas a bit, and it's like you have to go out there and press gas. And I went out there with, definitely was close. This round, I have to put him away.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I went out there, it was close, but, he hanged on. But definitely we knew we wanted to finish him because I knew we had the capability to do so. So we was going for the finish, but, next time.
Now, in that first round, you caught him with a big head kick and you cut him open. He was bleeding pretty profusely there in the first round. How bad did you think he was hurt? And did you feel like you were close to getting a finish there in that round one?
Definitely. The first kick that I landed was just so effortless. And I was like, definitely if the ref doesn't stop it, then stop the sure will. And, from there, I was just hitting the cut. Then it just got so slippery with everything. I kind of thought about it in my head too, like, someone's blood all over me and we're scrambling, squeaking and everything. It was like, man, I gotta get him all out of there. I have to. And when we make the second round, it was like, yes, I know it's gonna be one of them fights. I know it's gonna be one of them fight. And I was like, I gotta crank it up. But he was tough.
Now, Ed is obviously known for his elite level wrestling, All-American wrestler at Penn State University. Did you feel like he was just going to try and make this into a wrestling match going into the fight? Because it seemed like he was either comfortable trying to stand and trade with you, or your takedown defense was that much more surprising for him, and you were able to stuff a lot of those takedowns. I know he got a couple there towards the end of the fight in the third round, but you seem to always, get back up to your feet, and you weren't down very much.
One of the things that I was a little disappointed myself about is that I didn't approach a game all around, standpoint view, as in I felt like I slept on my wrestling a little bit, and that right there could have opened up a lot more. And at the weigh-in, Ed, he said, "Let's bang." And I looked at him and smiled and said, "No, we're gonna have a great performance because I know once I start hitting that bending, I already know exactly what you're gonna start doing. You're gonna start ducking and grabbing, sure. So you're not gonna finesse me. I already know already. So, so as soon as I start lighting him up and I didn't stay one place, so he couldn't find me. And every time he tried to find me, I frustrated him. So, after he shot and left himself open almost, hit him with a soccer kick, definitely caught his attention. So, he was kind of scarce about shooting and missing. And, I felt so strong in the grappling as well, and I was like, I should have just kept it going more to get him tired, all the energy. after the third round, I felt like, because I'm not gonna say it's because I'm used to a title fight or whatnot, because I had third round before, I had fourth round, I had fifth round before, but it seemed like I was just getting ready after the third round. So
to really ramp it up and go into the championship rounds is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Did you get a chance to talk to Ed after the fight? Did he say anything to you? Is a rematch something that the both of you want? I got to imagine you do.
Well, as soon as, because Big John was surprised, Chelson was surprised, his own teammate, Wonder Boy Josh Thompson, he was surprised. And everyone was surprised about the decision. And I was like, bro, congrats. Put on a hell of a fight. At first, when Bellator presented this matchup to me, I was like, I didn't know who he was. I just knew I seen a few highlights and I know they talk very highly of him. And I was like, at first I thought about it. I don't want to fight Ed Ruth my second fight, especially my first fight on TV. Like, so I set me up with a wrestler, 7 knockouts, and then I saw the Neiman fight, as my manager told me. He was trying to persuade me, like, man, you think Ed Ruth is happy to fight you? I thought about it in my head, like, that makes sense. I'm over here worried about fighting. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have some nerve breaking about fighting me too. So I jumped off the phone. Give me a sec. I typed in the name, and the first match that popped up was Neiman and the Gracie fight. And 1 minute into it, I was like, yeah, definitely. I want that matchup. Give me that matchup. So I told him, I was like, at first, I kind of, had a little doubts about fighting you at first, but, I'm glad it happened. He was like, yeah, I'm glad you actually took that fight, because, boy, that fight could have went either way. It could have went your way, too. I wouldn't be mad. So within himself, he knew, that he lost. And, he actually mentioned as in, he's gonna go back to stick to wrestling because of the lesson I taught him.
Wow, that's saying something right there. I mean, you guys really went in there and put on a phenomenal performance for the fans. Like I said earlier, it was the fight of the night. Now, before this fight, you did sign a new deal with Bellator, correct? What is your I guess contractual situation right now? How many more fights do you have on your deal?
I have 3 more fights.
3 more fights. And so when do you think your fans can expect to see you back in there? Are you feeling pretty anxious to get in sooner rather than later?
As soon as I got here Saturday morning, I fought on first Saturday. Monday morning I was already back in the gym lifting already. So hopefully anything present itself in December or January, I'll be ready to go, because I just know, like, if that's their best guy, I feel sorry for everybody that's been beneath him.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask you about the other welterweights on the Bellator roster. I don't know if you watched the event on Saturday night, but the main event was for the welterweight title. Rory McDonald lost his championship to Douglas Lima. You actually beat Lima's brother, Diego, back in the day. Is that something that you'd like to get in there and fight the other brother, maybe get the belt at some point soon?
It's not something that, I set my mind on doing, but if he's in the way, then, he's not gonna get treated different from anyone other welterweight that's in the way. And I promise you that.
Did you get a chance to watch that fight?
I didn't get to watch a fight. I did not get to watch a fight and go over it, but I haven't really watched the show because I didn't much watch my fight yet, because the fans have been just so hurt so much that I just feel like I'm the only one that thinks that I lost. But everybody else so grieving, so mad about the situation that I was like, man, I'm just not ready yet to see what they see and get upset too, and just use this fire and just get back to the next, because I don't want to cool this fire.
Yeah. That makes all the sense in the world, man. And I feel bad for whoever steps in there with you next, because a motivated, angry Jason Jackson has got to be a very tall obstacle for anyone to get into the cage with. When you do look at the welterweight division, outside of just the championship matchup there with Lima and Rory, who else excites you? Is there someone that you would like to fight next? Anyone you want to call out?
Well, I like I said, I'm just ready to just fight whoever they put in front of my face because I didn't chose this matchup. They did, and it turned out being great. So whatever, you know what I'm saying, they want to do, I'm with it. Doesn't matter who. And another thing I want to state that I'm not angry. I'm not gonna be angry. I'm gonna be motivated and inspired just to know what I did my last without, just being one-minded. I was just thinking one way, which is movement, boxing, and keep moving. But definitely you will see a more all-around Jason Jackson.
That's exciting. I can't wait to see you step back into the cage. I do want to get your thoughts on a couple of fight picks here. I'm sure you watch fights all over the world, whether it's Bellator, UFC, LFA, regardless of what it is. I know you fought Colby Covington back in the day, and he's going to be fighting Kamaru Usman here soon. What do you think happens in that fight, and who do you expect to win?
Of course, I got Usman winning. Covington, he's talented, definitely. When we fought, I won. I don't care what nobody want to think because the fan think the same thing as that I think is the Ed Ruth matchup. I put him on his back, knocked him out. But basically why the favorite was on his side because down here in South America, back in those days, American Top Team, they run everything. They had the name and the promotion, and the promotion that I was fighting for was an ATT promoter. They own that promotion.
Gotcha.
So, going there was just the underdog going in there to feed to him basically. So he thought he had an easy little step by. And I was training at a hole-in-the-wall gym. I didn't have the elite level of training that I'm having now, as in getting up early and doing what I do. But definitely, I won that fight. And even his ex-coach that was in his corner knew I won that fight. The crowd knew I won that fight. So I see Kamaru putting him out, neutralize his wrestling and, stop his striking. I don't feel like it's a striking. I don't consider it striking. I just consider it as him trying to hit something in front of him no matter what. But the fact that he knows he can throw 100 punches, he try to hit something at all time. But I definitely tell you, if Kamaru makes him pay, he will not sit and try to reach and just hit something without knowing that's there. So then he's going to jump back to his wrestling like what he did. So I got Kamaru Usman finishing him.
I'm excited for that fight. I can't wait. Another fight that I'm equally as excited for this weekend is the BMF title up in New York. You got Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. Tell me, what do you see happening in that fight?
I see Masvidal winning if Diaz toughness doesn't kick in and take over the fight and choke him, because getting into the longer round gritty fight, Masvidal he can break, and we know his jiu-jitsu is not up to Nate Diaz, because we've seen what happened to him in Bellator. They have a highlight of him going to sleep. Diaz love to choke people to sleep. And if not, Masvidal will go in there first 3 rounds and just look sharp, on point, and look untouchable, and just box Diaz up. Diaz like to box, but it's just sloppy boxing. But if he can use that reach and distance and pick apart Masvidal gonna have a bad night. But if Masvidal use that sharp boxing, slick in and out, it's gonna be a bad night for Diaz. So I'm bringing Masvidal, bring my Miami guy.
Okay, fair enough. How do you think you match up with those top welterweights in the UFC right now? Like, if you were to fight out your Bellator contract and Dana White calls and he's like, hey, Jason, we want to sign you to the UFC. We're going to put you right in. You get a top 15 matchup. How do you feel like you match up with those guys over there at the top of the division?
No different. I have teammates over there as well, you know what I'm saying? And they leading the way for me. So I have a lot of confidence and, faith in my ability to do well as well and make it to the top. It wouldn't be no problem. Most of those guys in the UFC, they cannot box, MMA-wise. They punch, but they can't put a good combination together. And I see that, and I will capitalize on that naturally. Naturally, once you put me in front of them, you realize that, wow, they boxing really on two different levels. Same thing with Ed Ruth, because Ed Ruth going to this fight, what was exciting me about the fight is the fact that he loved to throw 1-2. 1-2 is my favorite punch. So I was like, you ain't gonna beat me at throwing 1-2 or.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, especially with how good you look.
Like, everyone who I touch with my 2, they go down. And everyone that I touch with my jab, they do this. So I was like, we're going to have some fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was fun for me sitting cage side watching the fight. Last question for me here today, Jason. When you look at the year 2020, it's right around the corner. If everything goes perfect for you, what is it you'd like to accomplish here in the next year as a mixed martial artist?
This year's not done. So
okay.
I want to finish out my 4th fight, because that was the goal at the beginning of the year, is to do 5 fight was the max, but 3 was the minimum. So, I definitely want to finish. I already did 3 already, so I need 1 more to make 4. I didn't make 5, but, at least I beat the minimum marker, which is 3. So I want to do 1 more fight this year. Next year is definitely just keep going, keep building, and put myself in a title contention. Mm-hmm. At the end of the year or the middle of the year. Either way, however it comes, that's my motive and my goal.
Well, I'll tell you what, based on what I saw this past Friday night in Connecticut, you're well on your way, my man. Great performance. Even in a loss, I know, like I said earlier, a lot of people felt like you won the fight. So nothing to hang your head about as you move forward as a Bellator fighter. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me here today. Before I let you go, if there's anyone that you'd like to thank or any social media that you'd like to plug, the floor is yours.
Yeah, definitely. I want to thank all my sponsors from past fight. Definitely want you guys to check out my social media outlet, Jason Jackson 150. You can use it on Yahoo, Facebook, Instagram, wherever outlet media. That's the name. And I want to thank you for having me today, because it's a pleasure actually getting to put this out there. And I want to let you know it's a pleasure, definitely, actually being at the fight and supporting me and giving me an honest opinion, kind of empower me a little bit to get the next one. So we'll get the W.
Hey, my pleasure, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we'll be talking again soon.
Thank you.